Hello and welcome back to her Gypsy Rebel podcast with your host, Jacqueline Van Beerk. How are you guys doing today? Happy Friday. It's another week. What have you guys done? Have you survived the eclipse and the full moon, the blood moon? It was definitely crazy times. I think that I can feel the cosmic forces, Mercury in retrograde. Um, but, life goes on, right? So today's episode is about something that's becoming more and more common in the creative communities. It's about being silenced, shut down, or erased simply for having a conversation and a different opinion. My guest today is Brian Graupner. He's a musician, label founder, and a host of a long-running industrial scene live stream, Space Couch. For over a decade, he created music, interviewed artists, and contributed to the scene without controversy. In 2023, something changed. He hosted a podcast whose views were considered controversial. And before the episode even aired, he was warned to not do this and to not platform the conversation. And his response was simple. He was like, I think it's okay to talk to people. And within days, shows were canceled, venues distanced themselves from him, collaborators disappeared, and Brian became one of the most cited examples of cancel culture within the industrial and goth scene. So since then, he's lost gigs, the label he built from the ground up, and even had to leave the city he lived in. So yeah, he never stopped creating. He's a monster and he's such an awesome person. So I really loved and enjoyed our interview. We talked about what actually happened today in this interview and what it's like to be canceled and why the ability to have open conversations without fear matters now more than ever. So, welcome Brian to the show. Hi, Brian.
Hi.
It's gonna be really hard to concentrate with this cute background, but but you're just as handsome. So
Hey, all right. Well,
it's so nice to have you on the podcast. We just connected through, I don't even remember who emailed me but on Facebook, and I was like, fuck yeah, I checked you out. And I'm like, oh my God, I love how outspoken you are and you're doing music. Obviously, we have so many things in common. I always find it fascinating when there's so many people that I don't think we've met, in
negative. No.
person. Yeah. So I'm like, how do we never meet? So it's cool. I'm meeting you now, and I would like for you to introduce yourself a little bit about you. You have so many creative projects going on. You're always doing something. Your podcast. You're very creative, and doing stuff. Let's just start there.
Hi, the internet and people in her Gypsy Rebel land. My name's Brian. I do a lot of stuff. Ostensibly best known for a band that I guess is still going called the Gothsicles. We got to be sort of a thing, and then I was just crazily canceled. Like I know that's kind of a pop culture word right now, but just like off the top rope, big elbow macho man canceled. Uh, so now I do a very angry industrial band called Gasoline Invertebrate, a long
Love
running
it.
podcast called Space Couch, and run a record label called Ligerhawk Records. And I have about 1,000 and 2,000 other industrial bands and collaborations. You know how it is. You did guest vocals for Enesh. And the current one is called Serpa Deuce with the guy I found on Truth Social of all places. But yeah, it's pretty. I'm going pretty like Republican, right wing, conservative, whatever coded with gasoline, and so that's kind of what I'm doing now, along with all the other stuff and cute dogs in the background.
Yeah. I love it because I will say so. You know my story a little bit. I grew up in East Germany. I escaped East Germany,
Mm-hmm.
and so I escaped communism. And when I first started kind of, after 9/11, you start to question things, what the fuck's going on?
Sure.
Like, this is just something is off. And I was always told, you're a conspiracy theorist. And, and I started listening to David Icke and all the kind of like these, Alex
Right.
Jones. And I'm like,
Sure.
since when and so obviously escaping East Germany, I've always been questioning the system, and I was very young, but at the very young age I knew something was wrong. I'm like, okay, why can't I say something against my country? I'm being labeled a traitor, a
Mm-hmm.
horrible person for not obeying, when I clearly, we were not allowed to watch West German TV. We were not allowed to purchase
Damn.
certain cars. All the people from the politicians and people from West Germany coming in, they had access to restaurants that we didn't have access
Mm-hmm.
to. So I started questioning, why is that? This feels like we are the lower level people and they are
Right.
the elite, whatever you want to call it. Why can't
Right.
they do what I'm not allowed to do? What's up with that? When I came to the US, I felt like, oh my God, land of the free, this is it. And it was a dream come true. I was like, New York, I love New York City. It was like, I still feel it's home in my heart. Sadly, it's not what it used to be, but I'm very grateful that I experienced it the way I
Yeah.
did at the time. But when did we become so fucking divided, that I can't express myself, or if I mention David Icke or Alex Jones, I'm immediately labeled, you know, a
Yeah.
racist, or even with COVID, right? I don't care about
You
other
have blood
people's,
on your hands.
I'm not caring about my fellow humans. And I'm like, what? What's happening?
Because I question whether or not a piece of cloth over your face can stop microscopic germs means I have blood on my hands now,
Yeah,
or I'm not punk rock. That one blew my mind, but we'll get into that.
Oh, yeah. So when did you first experience that? Because I honestly, for a long time, I'm not going to even lie about
Mm-hmm.
that one. I just shut my fucking mouth, because my
Yeah.
friends were like, oh, you shouldn't say that, because then
Mm-hmm.
if you still want to work for film and TV, they're not gonna,
Yeah, that's a
and
lot
some
of it.
people, a few libraries, actually, she told me, she's like, we don't tolerate that. And I'm like, what? I wasn't even attacking anyone. I was just speaking my common sense, what I think, you know? And so that's when really all the light bulbs went off. But tell me about you
Mm-hmm.
being canceled. Like, I got definitely blackmailed, and I lost a lot of
Right.
people,
Oh,
like friends,
yeah.
during COVID. I lost a lot of friends. And oh God,
Yeah.
don't talk about the race card, that's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
how
That's a
dare you
live
are.
wire,
How,
right?
how dare you are as a white person coming from
Oh, you
coming
can't
from
have an opinion.
oh my God, and I'm from Germany. I don't know anything. What the fuck do I know?
What do you know about Nazis? Like,
Exactly. Or what do I know about American culture? I'm like, what?
right. Get back in your trobby. You,
Yes, yeah. You got it. Yes. So man, that's what all started for me. And I was really quiet for a long time. And I was like, no, I escaped this shit. I'm not
Mhm.
gonna be quiet.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's sounding like our stories align a lot. Like, when I was growing up and you were the industrial goth punk rock kid in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Republicans are bad guys and Democrats are good guys, and that's just the way it is. You get your thoughts like assigned to you because nothing's more punk rock than being told what to think,
Yeah.
and then just you start to question it, and like COVID, like how does wearing a mask in a car by yourself
God.
like save the world, let alone a mask anyway. Like I'm wearing like a basketball jersey over my mouth, and so now the like I said, the germs are stopped,
Right.
or having an ID to vote, or dudes can't become chicks. Oh my god. Um and and it's cruel to not play along, and so I started rejecting all this craziness just in my mind. But like you say, like, ooh, this could go really bad for me. And like, so sort of step one was just having a daily, the Daily Wire, like Ben
Yeah.
Shapiro and
Yeah.
all those
Of
guys.
course. Yeah. Yeah.
That cost me my marriage.
No way.
That's it. I wish I mean, like, there's going to be little pieces and other stuff like all in the whole thing, but like that was like if you were going to point to one thing like that fucking cost me my marriage, because she said she couldn't be married to a conservative, and
Oh my God.
yeah,
See
yeah,
that right there, right? That right there. Because
right,
people that know me, that know you, your values, your
Right.
heart, right? Your heart,
Right.
because at the end of the day, that's your essence, right? And if someone knows you by your essence, and just because you have a different opinion, people got divorced over COVID, over politics. What the fuck?
It was horrible, and I still got there's I lived in Boston for a while, so I still say horrible instead of horrible. Um, like as a bit of background, the Gothsicles, it was funny in undergrad, and then I just never stopped. And we got to a level that I never like. I always wanted to get there, but I never thought I would. And because like I got this moniker of the industrial Mr. Rogers. All my music is literally about Nintendo games and like animals that I like. The big hit is about how I think otters are cool, right? So it's like we would open up for kill death, and then we'd come on and be like, "What's up, y'all? Do you guys like otters and quokkas?" And we got there, like all the bands that I grew up listening to in high school, like we would meet backstage and they'd be like, "Sup, Brian?" And like, "You're not supposed to know who I am, you know, like I like wrote your band logo on the back of my math notebook, you know." And so we're playing the international festivals and with NS and all that. And then in the wake of that divorce, it starts coming out that, oh no, Brian might, you know, have his own thoughts or like, you know, might be leaning right, which is like, this is 2023, which, you know, is only 3 years ago as we're recording this, but emotionally, culturally, I think is like an eon past. So I was still doing this vidcast like we're doing now called Space Couch, and I'd been doing that for a long time. Got to talk to, you know, all my heroes and stuff, and it was wonderful. And I was a guest on my now good friend's show. Now goes by Moxie Dame, and she's amazing. We have a great time, and she was like a fan, and she like knew all my shit, and it wasn't too hard on the eyes either. But that's a whole other thing. And then so like I say, why don't you come on my show? And here's when it starts, because for some reason, like, and I'm sure you've had the same experience, you just think in your mind, like, do people have day jobs? Like, how do you have this much time to like troll through anything that's ever happened? But this person had made some vaguely unkind tweets to the trans community, like just like retweet with like the eyeball emoji, just like a two, you know, like on the scale of like whatever.
Right.
People very publicly, and here's where it really starts, in my opinion. Like people very publicly said, like, Brian's about to have this guest on who's blah blah blah, just like crazy shit. Like now I'm like King Hitler of the universe, and like if and I said, you know, this is beforehand. This is like vaguely a threat. Like if you have this person on your show, we're gonna XYZ. And I'm like, don't tell me what to do. Like, I'll have my friend on my show, and we talked about like video games and how to make a prison shank. And just stupid like podcast shit, right?
Yeah.
And that was it. You know how you said like I couldn't find what you actually did when you were like, that was it. That was the whole thing. And my life fell apart overnight. Like over a weekend, people were like, fuck you, I hope you die, and like sending me pictures of like my smashed CDs. I had a bunch of big festivals lined up like in England and shit. Those all fell apart. I got banned from all the clubs in Boston.
Are you
I had
kidding
to
me?
I wish I was. I had to
So
move.
wait, what exactly did you say that made them act like
It was
that? Just
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 because I interviewed this because I did what they told me not to do, in
oh,
my opinion. Like it got to a point where, in my opinion, it got beyond me personally,
yeah.
and it was just this virtue signal contest. And I know that's like a boring word now, but like there's really no other word to describe it. Just
Yeah.
people were like jockeying to
Yeah.
see who could denounce me harder, and like bands that I used to be in were having like, we're gonna have sales, we're gonna like devote, you know, 20% of all profits go to LGBTQ causes. Like it just like exactly it just got, I wish I was making it up. And then like I had, after this divorce, I'd fallen in with this weird industrial like hippie flop house in Boston, and like those guys had to make a post like, we do not support Pride. Like, what the fuck? So like I just like threw a dart at the map and moved to, of all places, Knoxville, Tennessee, just because I don't know anybody here. And then then check this out. Like I went to like the Goth club or whatever, and like they're like, we know who you are. Like I got recognized like right away. Like, God damn it. Like I moved all the way to Knoxville. So that's where I'm at now. That's sort of like what happened, but like it just kept going up and up and up. And stop me if I'm rambling here because I do that. Like I do my in space couch. Like
Oh, I
I
do that all the
uh
time too. Like, yeah,
I
yeah.
tend to ramble. Hell yeah. So like then I put out this gasoline invertebrate project, which I'd had for a while, but like I was just so angry. Like I
It
lost the
sounds
record
very angry.
label.
Yeah, it sounds very angry.
That
Yeah. I like,
Thank you. Like I'd started this record label from the ground up, and like that turned into like my own members only hate club, and just like everything went away. Like
oh my God.
it's difficult to like. I'll probably think of stuff as we're talking, just because it's difficult to all sort of mentally catalog how much went away. Like I'm just remembering gigs, and so I started concentrating on the angry project just because like I don't really feel like writing about like mandrills or other like
Yeah.
grasshoppers or whatever. And I put out a song called "Leftism is Bad," just making it as blatant as I can. And that was like level 2, like DEFCON 3, like around the world, like the Ireland Gothic page, like never had this band back because I played a show in Ireland, and like
Oh my
it,
God.
it was so crazy. And then it just kept going. And then it started to come out the other side. You find out who your friends are, like as I'm sure and then there's that weird moment where like people you thought would never fall off, like fall off, and you're like, what, you really? Okay. And you're nodding your
Yeah.
head. It just kept getting crazier. Like I tried to just start up doing gigs, and like people would find me and shut them down. And like I tried to do this gasoline invertebrate tour this year. I'm like, okay, it's been long enough. We'll try again. One day, and they shut the whole thing down. Like, there's only 3 venues, but they called each one and like said, like, you're really gonna have like these Nazis and
You know what's crazy to me? I heard about another. There was another band when I was with NAsh. We were on the road, and it was about the fest that's coming up, a festival,
yeah,
and this one band also got canceled, and I was
yeah.
like,
You know why? Because of this guy right here. They're
because of
called
you?
Hate Department. Yeah,
Yes, because of you.
yeah, yes.
Oh my
That was
God,
because
you are such a
I
bad
you find a
person.
I'm a bad, like that's how high
You're
it
evil.
got.
You're evil. You're
Like
such an
like
evil guy.
Megly Chin, who like I was this giant KMFDM fan growing up, is like posting about me. I'm like, how do you even know my name? But that was me. That's hilarious. You brought See, this is what I'm talking about. Shit, I forgot. Steven Siebold, who I was just a fan of, but like didn't really know, like messaged me, and I'm like, how? What? Okay, Hate Department is like, do you want to join Hate Department? Because he's just like awesome like that, and I'm like, hell yeah, I want to join Hate Department. And we like did virtual practices and everything because I lost one gig real quick. That was in Milwaukee. And then yeah, Dark Force Fest in New
Dark Force.
Jersey
That's it.
is
Yes.
what you're thinking of.
Yes.
A lot of that festival is sort of like reviving industrial bands of
Yeah.
yesterday.
Which I think is
And
cool. You
it's
know.
amazing, right? Like so many bands, because the Gothicals were like dark. It just keeps going. Like the Gothicals were darlings of that festival because Vampire Freaks,
Yeah.
if you know them, when
I've heard of them. Yeah.
that was like the goth MySpace back in the day. And they at vampirefreaks.com/music was like a player of stuff, and like the just random tracks. And number 3 was this song that I wrote when I was 18 about getting 30 guys in Contra. Some of you nerds will know what that is. And it just got like woven into the fabric of this site. So like a lot of the crowd that are like old like me now just grew up with this song. So like we were darlings of this festival. I joined Hate Department. Hate Department gets announced, and then it comes out that like Brian Graupner is playing keyboards for Hate Department, and that was it. People, like sound guys were threatening me, and like people were like, "I'm gonna take his teeth," like crazy shit, and
That is just so fucking whack.
That, like, it was so whack. And then, sort of on the sunny side of this, or I guess the darkness, however it works, the whatever the good part is, somebody started this list on my behalf called Goths Against Cancel
I saw
Culture.
that. I love that. Yes.
Thank you. Well, for people who are basically just tired of the whole
Mm-hmm.
uh, virtue monger act, and it grew to, like, it exploded in membership. From, like, I remember when we hit like 3,000, we're all popping bottles like, oh my god, 3,000 members now, and we just hit 30,000. So it's like, yeah, cute dog. People are just like
So
sick. Hey,
cute.
buddy. Yeah, I know. I
So
get that a
cute.
lot.
You know what I
I know.
think?
I get that all the time.
I love that because I think that one, you give others permission to speak up to. Because the
Yes,
thing is
that's what it
that,
was.
and I still, when I think about this whole thing, and I've heard about it, and I don't know, Otto's daughter was always kind of like, we were kind of goth, but we were also kind of metal, we were kind of rock, we were kind of pop, like
Right.
I feel we never quite fit in, so we were never in the scene, and that was way
Mhm.
before all the shit even happened. When I started seeing this, you calling people that are, and at the end of the day, I wouldn't even call myself a Republican. I would just call
Mhm.
myself someone who has common sense, standing
Right.
back. And because it's not even about left and right. Suddenly, now that the Epstein files are coming out and people are waking up, I mean, I watched The Fall of the Cabal. I don't know if you've ever watched
Mhm.
that.
No.
Nobody gives themselves permission to even look on the other side and listen to the other side. They're all just like so brainwashed. And I came from that in,
Yeah.
in, in socialism, right? Because it's all propaganda on your
Mhm.
TV. Oh, Americans, they're going to attack us. No one ever fucking
Mhm.
attacked us. They have other things to do. Why would they attack?
Right.
You know, and oh, the Russians are our friends and all this kind of bullshit. Then why can't I travel? Why can't I not leave my own
Mhm.
country if I want to? Because that's all I
Right.
wanted. I didn't want to start a fight or start a war. I just wanted to fucking get out.
Right.
It's like if you're in a relationship and you're like, it's just not working out for me anymore. I just let's end this
Right.
peacefully. And you're like, you can't leave.
Oh,
It's like, what?
that was a good one. Yeah.
It's like, what? Why not? And so when people call Republicans Nazis, the comparison alone is just so ridiculous because what
Right.
really happened, what the Nazis did,
Right.
what have the Republicans, who have they killed? You know what I mean? Like, who
Right.
have they put in gas chambers to do that? So that is just you repeating what you
It's
hear on the
so silly.
television. It's what you hear on your television. Because any human being with some sort of common sense sitting back and just thinking, okay, what am I saying? Am I repeating something I've heard? Would that even make sense? Okay,
Right.
you don't have to like Republicans. You don't have to like Democrats. You don't have to like politics at all. I always say, like, and especially now, I'm like, everybody's like, you have to read the Epstein files. You have to know what's
Mhm.
going on. You don't have to know any of that. What happened to the outrage? Why is nobody trying to get fucking Bill Gates locked up or Fauci locked up? Because what
Mhm.
they did was a real crime against humanity. Besides, Bill Gates hurt and killed a lot of Indian kids that he was even banned from India for a while and then he was allowed to come back
Damn.
because money buys you everything, right? Because of his experimental vaccines. He's not even a doctor, and they all listen to him. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what the
Right.
fuck is going? I feel like I'm living in this fucking like, what's the word? Not Matrix, yes, but also like this. That was a TV show. What was it called? It just the different in a completely different.
Like Black Mirror?
That too. We live into
Okay.
completely different realities and
Oh yeah.
timelines. Where
Yeah.
you don't
I call
have
it
to.
Upside Down or Clown
Yeah,
World,
clown
or just,
world. And
yeah.
it just, you don't have to just opt out of all the shit because the whole reason we're all being played. And it's
Mhm.
been so successfully done because we're all divided ourselves. They trained us to become fighting dogs. Pit bulls are not, I have a pit on my couch right now. He loves the fuck out of
Oh.
me. They're not vicious
Mhm.
beings. Humans did that to them. And so
Right.
it's the same with politicians, right? They just teach
Mhm.
us if you're left, you're bad. If you're right, you're bad. You have to be either this or that. And it's all just fucking propaganda, brainwashing, and distractions from what's really going on. And everybody buys into it. And suddenly, now that the Epstein files are coming out, and they're like, never heard of this. I didn't think that was
Mhm.
real. And oh my God, our government, yeah. Have you ever read the food labels? You know what I mean?
There's
Suddenly,
that. Yes.
suddenly you're so shocked that, and my mom asked me that. She said, "Why would they want to kill us?" I'm like, "Well, they don't really want to kill us. They want to keep us healthy enough to go to work and be nice little
Hmm.
slaves, but sick enough to have to rely on medications, right?" Because,
Yeah.
and going back to the COVID thing, at first I bought it too. My mom was going through cancer, and I was really protective of her and thinking, "Oh my God, what's going
Sure.
on?" And then suddenly I'm like, what the fuck is this? I can't go outside. I can't have any sunshine on my, you know, I cannot rely on my own immune system. What is going on? Like, wait a minute, And I feel whenever someone, Kanye, David Icke, like, even talking about Candace Owen, anyone who says things that
Hmm.
that ruffles their feathers. Even Trump. Trump came here to be a disruptor. He came here to
Right.
be a disruptor because he opened a can of worms, and he's a perfect candidate because
Hmm.
Hollywood loved him before he was president. They did, and suddenly he's the enemy. So why is that? Because whenever somebody just uncovers something, they are crazy, they are liars, they
Hmm.
are just bad people, right? That's the game they play. And that goes back to the socialist times where I grew up.
Hmm.
If you spoke out against the system, you were a bad person. That dog is like, what? What? That was perfect timing. The dog's like, huh? So
Huh? You mean I can think for myself?
what?
What?
And you don't have to agree. You can, I
Hmm.
understand that people, we have been so programmed to be so fearful of anything,
Hmm.
like a virus. We
Hmm.
have to run to the doctor. You know, we have our
It's gonna
body
be
is
fine.
so
It's
our
gonna be
body
fine.
is so fucking intelligent.
Right.
You fasting, that's why people fast. They can get rid of cancer
Hell yeah.
cells. You know, sun, you
Now I
can,
do. Yeah. I
yeah,
didn't before. Like what you're saying. Like nobody told me this shit.
it's crazy. And so
Like
why would you debunk all that without doing your own research first and attack people and to threaten you with your life? That is just, who is the evil person here?
it, I mean, like I'm totally vibing with what you're saying. Like I I wasn't, I consider myself like right wing or whatever, but like just out of convenience, like I never like went for the whole team sports thing. Like I just sort of backed into it. Like when like you're saying with Fauci, when he's like, stay home or you'll die, unless you're protesting, and then it's
Yes.
fine. I'm like,
Yes.
ha, no, 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 stop, back up. What? He's like, no, it's fine. Just go out and protest. If you're protesting, the virus stops. It's just science,
Yes. Yes.
everybody.
Yes.
And you're like, what the fuck? And then it's like, oh, by the way, he's the guy who did it in Wuhan, China, effectively, but he just sort of gets this magical path. Like, you just can only, and then yeah, like you're saying with the food pyramid, we had it ass backwards, and then you find out that big tobacco owns 40% of the food companies, and then you go like, well, yeah, why wouldn't we make America healthy again? Because you want to be a Nazi, don't you? Okay, fine. It's fine. Like, I'm gonna turn this off and put on some Ben Shapiro or whatever. I'm a fan of his, but yeah, it's and and
I don't even like him anymore. I used to listen to him, and I feel like he's become just a little bitch, to be honest. Like
he
I'm
is
more Team Candace
getting a.
Owen. But
There is. I don't agree with everything, but I don't agree with everything anybody says
no,
because I'm a
same,
human,
same.
and that's part of
Absolutely.
it. Like if you agreed with 100% of anything anybody said, you would
Yeah.
be a robot, So it's like, and I think your main sin was or our main sin or whatever was looking alternative and not being told what and like not accepting the doctrine. You know what I mean? And then doing it in music. Oh, that's a giant sin. Can't have that.
You know Tom McDonald? Do you listen to him?
Show ya, hell yeah.
Oh, fucking I love him. When he first came out with that woke song, I was like, holy shit, this is so cool and this is so true because it just once you see past it, because
Yeah.
programming, your television is programming. That's why they repeat it from the morning till the evening. And yeah, I just think that it became so out of control. I was on Zoom calls and these became so awkward to me because people were so biased about stuff. And I
Hmm.
was like, I can't be in this room because I can't even
Right.
what? Like suddenly we have to step back because I'm privileged because I'm white and I have to step back because other people should get a chance to. I'm like, I'm fucking hardly getting by. I'm not privileged. I grew up in
Right.
East Germany. I always felt like second best because I always wished
Right.
as a kid I wished I was born on the other side of the fence. So I
Right.
never felt privileged, you know what I mean? And so I had to but then I was thinking, how come that the creative people that should be the most open-minded people have are so close-minded and don't go outside the box thinking for themselves, being, and I always consider myself a liberal because I feel like I want
Hmm.
everyone to be happy.
Yeah, sure.
I love people of all walks of life. Like that's why I moved to New York City. I was like, oh my God, there's
Mm-hmm.
people from all over the world. This is fucking cool, you know? So I appreciate and honor other people's culture. And suddenly I'm in a room full of creatives who have all these rules. And if you don't think like me, then you're a bad person because you should, as a white girl, you should not try to push your music right now because you're privileged. I'm like, I gotta get out of this because if I speak up, everybody's gonna hate on me. And I
Yeah.
now looking back, I wish I would have spoken up more, but I felt
Hmm.
really I would have gotten bullied, you know.
Yeah.
And because a few times I did on Facebook, people were calling me a Nazi. They were calling me, I'm ignorant. I'm not educated about the culture, like I said earlier. And I was
Hmm.
like, you know, there's also a thing called intuition and
Hmm.
certain things you just know, right? Like certain things you don't even we know the world is fucking evil. Like
Right.
that the politicians, the elites, and that's we don't even see who's really holding the strings, pulling the strings, this political theater. These are all actors. There's
Right.
something above that we have no fucking clue who they
Oh
are.
yeah.
You know?
It's a big club and you ain't in it, to
We are
quote
not in it.
George Carlin.
Yeah.
Carlin.
It's so to me, I was just so shocked that the creative people are so biased.
Yeah, it was. It'll make your head spin. Like, uh, a friend of mine who I've gotten to know, and did a couple tracks with, who goes by Libertarian Goth on X,
Yeah, I like that.
posted a meme. She's awesome, but she posted a meme that went a little viral. It was this punk rock festival, and like big banners on the side of the stage were just a list of like no racism, no homophobia, no transphobia, like a list of like these things. And her caption was punk rock 2026, a list of rules. And it just people were just like, oh, that's it right there. This like, don't have your own thoughts, and it'll make your head spin. Like, wow, you people are so brave, agreeing with everybody else. Like, you really upsetting the apple cart with your pre-approved thoughts. Fuck out of here. Like, and look, what am I gonna do? Like at Dark Force Fest, like in between hate department sets, I might start a genocide. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
It wasn't even Tommy Victor. Do you know that guy? He's a singer. He was, I forget what band he was in, but he was really outspoken. He was like, had Republican
Mm.
views, and yeah, his band fired him. And then
Ugh,
he ended up just doing a solo project, and he did actually really well on his own because
very
people
cool.
came to support him, you know. And again, I think that, it's time for us, and hopefully, I'm hoping people think and I know obviously this is a dark time, but I do see the light, and I always like to just spread the light and love because I feel
Hmm.
that, we have to go through difficult times like to get to the other side, and sometimes you have to navigate through the shit that is all happening,
I feel like it's going on.
and
Mm.
but the light is at the end of the tunnel and the light is
Right.
coming. And this is all cosmic, even,
Sure.
into astrology and all kind of shit. Like I've listened to that. I'm not an expert at it, but when I listen to it, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. um but I feel it we have to come together and just realize that this is so much bigger than left and right. This is so much bigger
Yeah.
than any of this bullshit. Like, I mean, we'll never get apologies for it, and I know
Hmm.
that the people that left
Yeah.
me, I don't even want them back in my life unless they
Hmm.
really apologize, give me a big apology, because I feel that you really showed yourself. And I've never even like said that I am a Republican, which I am not. I'm
Hmm.
like, I would say I'm actually in the middle
Hmm.
observing everything. But I would never. I have friends who are Republicans. I have friends who are Democrats, and not all Democrats are bad. It's just the ones that
No,
are really taking it to the next fucking level. When
right.
you cannot preach love and say I'm gonna kill you if you don't think like me.
that's,
Uh,
that's it.
what?
That caps it pretty much.
I mean, as monks walking for peace, right? Would
Yeah.
they like walk with their guns and like pull their guns out and say, "Get out of my fucking way, you," whatever,
They
you know?
might, and like in 2026, though, like
It
you
just
wouldn't
to
be
me,
shocked.
you know. So well, how do you think this is like where we're heading? Do you see a
I,
bit of a
uh,
shift where people are just a bit more, hey, maybe I don't have to hate you. I don't have to agree with you, but maybe I
we'll
don't have to hate you or
see.
insult you.
It all feel it, it's an interesting question because sometimes I'm like, yeah, the Earth is healing, and then like like you there was a time when you could have your life melted down for saying that climate crisis isn't a crisis, and like that would be it for you. And that was part of my fucking divorce or whatever. Was like, no, it's fine. It's like it's not a big deal. And then Bill Gates comes out and says, like, you know what? It's actually not a big deal, like, because they need more electricity for AI data centers, so now it's not a big deal anymore. And then so like, okay, maybe it's shifting, but then sometimes I think there's this sunk cost that people went so far in to, like, yeah, like, let's trans the kids, or let's mandate racial hiring at our workplace to such a crazy degree that, like, we can't show our ass, like, we can't admit we were wrong, we went too far.
Yeah,
So, like, I go back and forth pretty much based on how much sleep I had the night before, is
yeah,
like on my my mood. Because, like, I thought, all right, maybe it's been enough time that I can play the back of a sports bar for 50 people uh with my industrial band, and, like, nope. So, like, there's some signs of hope, and then it gets, like, crazy shut down. So it's I think, I mean, it's always tempting to think you live in interesting times, but it does feel like we're on some sort of a teeter totter, like,
yeah,
some days. On the whole, I will agree that there's been sort of a shift towards the good side. I see things like the Goths Against Cancel Culture blowing up, and my buddy Jake Monroe. He's in Belfast. Him and I went on the Tim Pool show. That was
yeah. That
crazy,
was that
and
was I heard us do that. Yeah,
oh, thank you. And got to talk about a lot of this, where it's like, yeah, we get a lot of pushback for what we're doing, but, like, the support end of it is also going way, way up. Like,
yeah,
that's why, to bring it all the way back to the start of our conversation, 2023 feels like it was 1,000 years ago, because mindsets have changed so much since then. So
yeah.
maybe I'm slowly talking myself into happiness, or maybe I just get to talk to you, and that's what's making me happy.
Well, I think, again, it's like they are very smart about putting each other, us, dividing us. They're really smart about it because it's all psychological. And people,
Mm,
we human beings, we are very, there's reactive and then just acting. Like that there's taking
mm,
action and being just reactive, right? And I think a lot of people are reactive because the minute they hear something that they disagree with or that hurts themselves, like where they
mm-hmm.
not even themselves, but they feel, oh my God, what are they doing? They deporting all the illegals. Like, no, they're
I was gonna
not.
go there if you
You
weren't.
know, they're not.
But
They're
it's really
not.
easy to funnel that
It's
down into
easy to
fuck
funnel it
ice.
down. And honestly, if I wasn't doing all the research I did, I would feel the same way. I understand where they're
Mm,
coming from, right? Because
mm-hmm.
we all have a nervous system, and our nervous system cannot handle all the shit being thrown at us
Mm-hmm.
24/7, right? It's like the doom
Mm-hmm.
scrolling. Like everybody's just
Right.
like looking for this dopamine fix and or who can I fucking be mad at now?
Yes.
What can I rebel against now? That's not being rebellious. Do you know what's rebellious? To shut the fuck up and do some research, to
Oh,
own your own power. To say, you know what? I'm not feeling well. Instead of running to the doctor, maybe I should just tune into my own body. Maybe I
You
should just,
monster! How can you be so full of hate?
you know, maybe I should just meditate and ask my body, hey, thank you for showing me that there's something off balance.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just, see what's going on. Maybe I'm eating too much shit food that is out of convenience. And it's all, again,
Maybe.
it's all by design, right? They make all this food for us that, and I used to be guilty of it too. I'm like, oh, I don't want to make a potato salad. I'm just gonna get it from the store. And then I started
Right.
reading and I'm like, why is there 100 things on my potato salad? It's just potatoes. It's not. It's five
It's not a
ingredients.
problem. Just take this Lipitor for the
Just
rest of
eat
your
it. Just
life.
eat it. Just
Yeah.
eat it. And of course, that makes us sick, right? And then when I finally like get that, maybe I can help myself. So I think that, and it's the same when you were saying about the trans. Nobody hates trans. It's about the kids. You don't want who the fuck like who are we to alter a kid that is not even fully grown, and decide for them that they don't even. I didn't know what I want as a kid. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I want a lot. So who and how could a parent in LA not even have the right to decide what's good for their kid? And I think that's what people don't understand. They just take everything so out of proportion. God, I used to hang out at a fucking trans place in New York City all the time. It was
Right.
called Edelweiss. It was nothing but trans people. I was like so fucking inspired by them because I thought it was brave to just do that. But these were all adults, and nobody hates them. But why would you bring that into a kid's life and say, "Oh, look, they're trans"? What is a trans? Oh, that's And then they explain it to them. No, let kids be kids. Kids should just be fucking playing in the sand and eating a
I
little bit of sand.
I mean, I still have friends who are trans, believe it or not. I don't think they're girls, and I don't think it should be a thing. But like, I'll still be friends with them. But like, my parents would have transitioned me to be a Ghostbuster if I told them, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I was into when I was 8 or whatever. So like,
Yeah.
come on, what are we doing? And
And I love that Jeffree Star, for example, he even says, I'm a dude who loves to wear
yeah,
makeup and
right.
talks about makeup and loves to wear dresses, and he's fucking gorgeous. And I've always loved him, and I still love him.
The
And I love
bone
that.
structure on that guy.
Oh my God. I'm like, you are just so fucking hot. And but he is just, and people like that, I love that he's speaking out because he is in the scene. He is a
Mhm.
trans man, right? So he can actually, if I say it again, people attack me, they would attack me. And I'm not even talking about that because I'm like, I don't care. I used to go to trans clubs. I don't give a fuck about that.
Mhm.
We have to protect our children, because the children
Mhm.
deserve to grow up as a kid. Like, we don't want to turn them into Michael Jackson. And then all this stuff with Michael Jackson and all, there's just so much where it's like, wow, yes, there's so much evil, but that doesn't mean we have to succumb to that. And
Yeah.
and fight over shit that you don't even have control over.
Yeah, I am against gender ideology just because I don't like being lied to.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't like individuals don't scale. Like I'm fine with, this particular person or whatever. But to go back to the start, me saying that means
Oh yeah.
uh I go out and with my clan hood and burn crosses on people's lawns, which I only do on the weekends. There's only so much time in the day.
And wouldn't you agree that, I mean, I do the RV life and I get to be in many different places and people in general get along, that people
Oh
in
yeah,
in
well
real
that's the
life.
thing.
I've never had someone say, "Hey, you got red hair. You must be a fucking libtard," or something like that. Like, or the up, whatever. It's like, and people that whatever you want to believe in, I don't care. Like, just
Yeah,
be a nice person. Just be nice, be kind, be respectful, and I don't care what you do. Behind closed doors.
yeah, like before it, it came out in the world that I was, mega industrial. I
That's a
was
funny
I,
word.
I'm just making shit up, but like
I
I
love
was
it.
ready. I was doing. I still thought the way I thought, but I was doing collab projects with trans people or left leaning people or whatever.
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
fine. Like, okay, you believe some crazy shit, but let's put that aside for now and work on this banger.
exactly,
But
exactly. It's like, I mean, I hated Bush. I didn't see people
Yeah, I
like
wasn't
being
a fan
outraged.
either.
Yeah, and I never, yeah, I didn't like him. And but that doesn't, if one of my friends was like voting for Bush, I'm like, okay, that's, you have the right to do that. I don't care. And
Yeah.
let's not even talk about it. Even like religion, I used to not really believe in God, and I mean, I believe in the higher power, and I do believe there's a God, my own God, and we are God, right? Because we came here, we have that power, right? The
Mhm.
quantum physics, it's like we are very powerful beings. We are God-like beings. Plus, the dogs are God too. But I had friends who are really hardcore Christians, and I loved that I could talk to them. Like
Mhm.
and I had a friend who was complete, like she was atheist, like a
Mhm.
hardcore atheist, right? And they would have all these discussions, but in a nice way. She would just
Mhm.
express how she was feeling
Yeah.
and why she totally did not believe in God and religion. And religion also got a bad word because it all gets, as always, fucked up by money and greed.
Mhm.
It's all about power, money, greed, and control, and also corruption and the altar boys being raped, all that kind of shit. But we can still talk. And I'm like, we disagree. That's fine, but I'm glad you go to your church that makes you feel good. Our church is the recording studio or the stage,
Right.
where I'm like,
That's
feel
very
okay.
true.
This is my where I feel like the true me is coming out, and I'm in that
Mhm.
zone of just, yeah, being tapped in, turned on with the creator, whatever that means to you, the universe, something, obviously. First of all, I think it's such bullshit that you're being canceled and clubs canceling you, not allowing you to go on a stage, because punk rock, that should be really punk rock, right? Punk rock should be like, go against the grain, go against, like, speak your
Yeah.
fucking truth, again. Not everyone has to agree with it, but I think, though, and I want you to talk more because you're on my podcast. But I think, for example, when Billie Eilish made her stupid statement on stage, it backfired big time, right?
Yeah, totally.
Because people think they are being heroic. I can't even say the word.
Right.
But I also, I also think that artists, and it ruined it for me a lot, where I felt that, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear about your political
Mm.
views. I wanted Lady Gaga, for example, or like Robert De Niro. I used to love these people. But who are
Mm.
you to just come on and say, fuck Trump? It's like,
Right.
can you just like be a bit more intelligent and maybe instead of fuck this, say, let's do that, right? Like, let's meditate more. Let's like raise our vibration and our
Yeah.
frequency and spread love and light, because we're all energy, right? Let's contribute something beautiful to this planet. If you want to be angry, go do some boxing, go for a run. You know what I mean? Get an
Yeah.
outlet, like I said, with the nervous system, right? Regulate your nervous system. Do some meditation, do some yoga to really not be so reactive, because everyone is just like, and I'm guilty of it too. Like, a lot of times in the beginning, especially, I was like, I just heard that and I need to jump on social media, and like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Or a
well,
protest that could go bad in a second.
you know,
Uh,
why can't we just first sit back and say, all right, let's think about this for a second? Like,
yeah.
like your
It's
marriage, right? Maybe it could have been like, why did we get married? What did
yeah.
you love about me? What did I love about you? And why am I suddenly? I know couples, like, they voted the different parties, and the other
Yeah.
person does not know. And if they knew, they would get divorced. I know couples
Yeah.
that have one has the vaccination, the other one doesn't, and
Yeah.
they actually do get along. But a few of them, if they would find out, and I'm like, what is happening? This
Yeah,
is just
it's the
to me, it's
star-bellied
creepy.
sneeches, like with or team sports, or just like well, the mask era really, like, put it out, I think, full frontal, literally, because, like, you could tell the way somebody voted by if they were wearing a bank robber outfit or not, which is fucking crazy. And then, like,
I remember that at the airport.
well,
I was
like, the
like,
more, yeah, and if somebody went like full beekeeper with like the biohazard
yeah,
shield,
yeah.
you're like, oh, I bet they're really liberal. Like, it was just such a, like I said, like a Black Mirror episode. Like, you have to literally wear your politics on your face or not. And yeah, the I don't know if it's. I think it's maybe a little bit Trump, but I think people are bored and
Yes.
dumb.
Yes.
Meaning like it's and I say dumb advisedly because like there's very smart people in the world, and I don't always consider myself among them, but I think in prior lifetimes people might have, made something, or like written a song, or started like a book series or something, and now that's kind of gone out the window, and it's like I'm gonna hang out all day at this No Kings rally. Like, all right, fine, fine. You get a It's like, can I get a pass? Like, this gives me like a purpose, like a pass is like a viable person if I'm really angry about something. Like, you ever see that episode of Seinfeld where George figures out he
Yes.
doesn't have to do anything
Yes.
at work if he just looks
Yes.
angry all day?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
I think that's what it is.
It's one of my favorite shows.
Yeah. But it's just George looking frustrated, and they're like, okay, that guy must be doing something worthwhile, even though he's not. But
Yeah.
that's what I think it is. I don't know if it's uh, a religiosity. This is I consider myself an atheist, but a lot of people who are doing all the crazy shit seem to be as well. So I don't know if I mean you can't help but notice that correlation. And shout out to the Christian community. Like I'm not among them, but there's the shows that like embraced me and had me on after like I became so radioactive. Which I guess goes back to what you're saying about like one side can sort of figure out where we stand and converse with people, and on the other it's a little bit more black and white.
Yeah. I mean, I have friends. It was funny in the beginning. We would kind of joke, but we talked about our political differences, and I have really amazing friends, and I have friends I cannot talk
Mm-hmm.
to about that. But I always thought it was so cool that, we would disagree, but we would still be able to talk. And I appreciated that because I was like,
Mm-hmm.
let's just like step back. And even my mom, she was like, she goes playing cards with people, and they're just like, did you hear what Trump did now?
Yeah.
And I said, Mom, like they have nothing better to do. Like you guys are there to play cards. Why can't you just have fucking fun and play cards? You know what I mean? Why do you have to bring that up? It's like
Yeah.
the world always wants to find someone they can hate on and someone they can put on a pedestal. And I mean, whoever still thinks Bill Gates is a nice guy needs to really do some research because I I I remember so vividly. Like I posted something on something with Bill Gates, and a friend of mine, a musician friend of mine, said something. Oh, he's doing all these amazing things, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that. That is so nice. And then someone else posted, yeah, and he also killed like people here in India, and I was like, whoa, what's going on? Like and that's when I
What?
started.
I
Yeah, and
just
that's when I
yeah.
started doing like some digging. And of course, I get it because you feel like David Icke talking about, all the things he talks about. And you're like, serpents and they're not real, they're reptilians and they're not really real people. And of course you feel like, well, that sounds nuts. But, you
Right.
know, also when you watch movies, and I cannot not see it anymore now, but now every time I watch a TV show or like a movie about the CIA, the FBI,
Uh-huh.
about, Hollywood, like, Eyes Wide Shut, all the kind of shit where they sacrifice people. And you think, oh, just a movie. But it's all either a forecast of what's to come or they show it to you. They telling you
Mm-hmm.
exactly what they do. Their corruption. They're fucking kill this person because he knows too much, right? Or he's speaking the truth. We need to get rid of him. This is all in the movies, and people think this is just a movie. This is just,
Did
you
you
know.
see that Nickelodeon documentary?
I have not yet.
It's I couldn't take it. Like it's quiet on the set, but it's a lot of what you're talking about, where like they had these kids doing like these sketches that were like if you look at them for 1 second, you're like Jesus Christ, that is obviously a cum shot or whatever, like horrible shit. That it comes out in this documentary, like yeah, they are all horrible pervs, and that's what they were doing to these
Oh
kids, and
my god.
showing it to you, like what you're saying, like
And you think it's
maybe
funny. People think they just,
right.
oh, it's entertainment, you know? And then you're being called, are you to just like, why are you so narrow minded? No, that does,
Yeah,
we've come to a place where like
like
people,
there is bad shit in the world.
when little girls start like idolizing Cardi B, I'm sorry. Do you really want your
Yeah.
daughter to be like that? Talk about wet as pussy, like, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool for adults, but like, ooh, I don't know. And
Yeah,
yes, I
it's a
understand. There's
lot.
like freedom of speech. I understand all that, but it just there has to be some sort of filter
Hmm.
that
It's gotta
you
it's
know,
gotta be.
yeah.
So I don't know. Like, I mean, people like we would play like a video game convention or something back in the old days, and like I have kind of a potty mouth, so I would be like, just fuck this. But then I would see like a little kid walking by and be like, damn it,
I
okay,
know.
like reel it back in, and I'm sure you know how that goes. So I don't know if the whole censorship thing is on artists or whatever. Yeah, but like I mean, I'm old enough to remember that, like, when Britney Spears came out and like little girls were showing their midriff, that was like the end of the world. And now that's like quaint in a post WAP world. Uh,
I
so,
feel so weird when I see I was having ice cream yesterday and I saw like this couple with two kids and they must have been, I don't know, 6, 7,
yeah,
maybe 5. And they both had like nail polish on, and
sure.
I'm like, oh my God. Like, first of all, thank God I don't have kids because I'm like, they would cost me a lot of money. But also, but also like, that's not why can't little girls just be little girls, like, that
Yeah,
I didn't have nail polish. I mean, I understand you want to, I smeared my
sure.
mom's makeup on my face and stuff. I or wore her fucking high heels and walked around the
Yeah,
block, like I did all that, because we're curious, and that's fun, cute. But I don't know, there's just like certain things, and I don't want to be that person either saying kids should not have nail polish, but there's
yeah.
just it just feels weird to me because like
It
let
does feel weird.
kids should be kids and not grow up so
Yeah.
quickly, because and that's what I love about the camping and RV lifestyle, because I see like kids out playing in the woods and climbing
Hmm.
trees, and I'm like, okay, this
That's
shit is
cool.
still real. People are still out in nature. They're still, because that's what we have to. I think this is a very we live in such an exciting time because technology, AI can be a very helpful tool, but it can also be very dangerous because now, we can fucking make a clone of you and say all this kind of shit. And I don't know if it's the real Brian or the fake Brian. And like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It can ruin someone's life.
There's
And
that.
also, yeah. And also, at some point, at what point are we so disconnected, not only from nature, but from ourselves, right? Because we are so busy constantly just with all the noise that we don't even hear our own voice anymore. That's why I
Like,
think most people don't even know what they think anymore or what they
oh,
believe.
okay.
Because if
Yeah.
you just who goes out? I mean, I do because I feel like a 5-year-old still, but like I do cartwheels, I extend on the ground. I'm just like nuts like that. Because I could sit outside and stare at a tree for like an hour and be like, oh my God, look at that fucking tree. And I know, like, I annoy most of my friends because they're like, okay, Jacqueline, it's a tree. I'm like, no, you don't get it. You don't understand. Like, look at the tree. Or like the butterflies, but I think that's where the magic, getting back to that magic,
Yeah.
and that primal kind of like, of growing our own vegetables, just like,
Mhm.
instead of relying so much on all and now they want to feed us fake fucking foods, like if
Mhm.
foods like made in the lab. I don't want to eat that. I don't give a fuck how healthy you
Oh,
say
you
it
don't want to
is.
eat the Bill Gates Beyond
No,
Burgers?
no, thank you. I want Bill Gates behind bars, and I've
Yeah,
hate
you
like,
do.
ever since I found out about this guy. I'm like, when I see that, and I'm not like that normally. I don't. There's not many people I really hate. I
No,
and I
he's a bad dude.
When I see him, like, just the way he lights up, I think he comes like talking about vaccines. Like, he must be, he's like, oh yeah, like, and then yeah, talks about, and I'm like, who the fuck are you? You know, who are you to talk about this and to even like have authority about this? To me, this is like, and I don't understand why people don't question that, and why you even would label someone who does a bad person, when in
Well,
reality, and I think I will speak for you in that sense, that you are a caring person, and
oh,
caring comes with self-care first, because if you are not functioning well, if you're a fucking mess, if you're mentally not there, how can you function and contribute to this universe, to this earth, to your fellow human beings? and
yeah,
and
you
also,
gotta.
if you can't speak your truth, how can you fully ever feel happy? because all you have
Mm-hmm.
to do is wear a mask,
Mm-hmm.
that pretending to be someone you're not. And then how exhausting is that? And then to come home and be like, I just want to play this show, so I have to pretend that I think
Yeah.
like them. How about, yo, Brian? I want to know, like, tell me how, what made you become a
Mhm.
Republican? Why did
Right.
you vote who you voted? What are your beliefs? What are your core beliefs?
Hmm.
And maybe question and ask you those questions versus like right away jumping on you and
Hmm.
assuming that you're just an asshole that doesn't
Hmm.
care about nobody. But
Right.
when they all loved you before, right? Your music, they loved your music, they loved your sense of humor and the fact that you were like a nerd, right? Like that you
Oh
just
yeah.
like sang those songs about really, this kind of stuff while you could have sang about political shit or loves, whatever. And so what made them suddenly you are a different person when you're still the same person?
Yeah. It was a lot to process. Where like people are like, "You've changed." No, like I still got a shelf full of action figures right over here, and or whatever, and it really like I said, makes your head spin. I wanted to go back a little bit and say like I think uh, yes, it is important for kids to do cartwheels, uh, but I wanted to add
Adults
um,
too.
and adults if you can pull it off. Not only do cartwheels, but for the sake of doing cartwheels, not for getting TikTok likes. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes, thank
Like
you.
because it's the whole thing's become so performative and graded, like like if not enough people that I've never met in Egypt don't like my dance, that means I'm a bad person. Like it's
Yes.
fucking crazy, and I don't know if I could handle that at the age of 12, where like somebody
Oh
says
God.
like you're
Yes.
fat or like whatever. Like I mean, I'm often thankful that there wasn't such prevalent recording equipment when I was 12, because every dumb thing I've ever done would be forever on the internet. But now I'm getting sort of evaluated by randos in Lawrence, Kansas, unlike my life, but whatever.
And how do you feel about that now? Like, I mean, how do you actually,
Now,
how do you feel, like your circle of friends, and how do you maintain your mental well-being, so to speak? Because yeah, they may not care about, I do, and many do,
well, thank you. I can't, like, people are like, keep your chin up and head up, and like, yeah, and like, fuck those people. Who needs them? But like, they were my friends. Like, it
It
really
hurts.
hurt.
It hurts. Yeah.
Like like people I've known, like you and I grew up across the street from each other listening to Weird Al tapes, and now like I'm Lord Satan von Transkiller. Like what? Like um and I often describe it as like when you see a werewolf transformation on like a movie or something, because like it looks like it hurts, right? The guy's like ah, and like eyes are bulging out and like bones are cracking, and but at the end of it, he's got sick abs and he's this monster, right? So like, um, I uh, I feel like I'm stronger now. Like I used to be, like because I was being just sort of like this, the goth Tom Hanks was sort of my shtick. And like if somebody was like, fuck that guy, he's got a big nose or whatever, like that would like ruin my day, right? And now I'm like, I don't care. Like, yeah, okay, like light my merch on fire and
That
say
is
that
just
I'm
so insane.
Trump's love slave, or whatever, all the shit. And not that like you personally get it, but I'm sure you've seen it before. And it's like, yeah, okay, great. I'm gonna go put out 8 more albums, and like I got on like the like people are like fuck you, you Nazi, and then like I got like on the German alternative charts to like number 5. So it's like, all right, like go nuts, man. I still like get a lot of it, like you know, think I've been trying to land a gig here in town even where I don't know anybody. All it takes is like, because I'm out there with my real name, and it just somebody Googles me and they're like, controversial figure Brian, like, all right, there goes that gig. And somebody says like, we found some problematic things connected to your name.
Oh
All
my
right.
God.
Yeah, all right, right off Chicago or whatever it is, you know.
In a way, these people should get sued. Like I feel that this is just when you cannot say diversity, inclusiveness, and then exclude people.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, it's the great irony of the whole thing,
Yeah, it really
and
is. It really is. And it's just so unfair.
mm,
But at the same time, I think that is so brave and
no,
liberating because at the end of the day, you have to be happy. And if you can't speak your truth, and I've done it for many years where I was just like, okay, like I disagree with that, but everyone in the room is agreeing. And you know what? They're probably not. They're just like, me just
yeah,
being, all right, just shut the fuck up and
yeah,
don't
just
ruffle
don't hurt
feathers.
me.
Don't. And so I just think that at this point in my life, I'm like, I escaped being
Mm,
told shut the fuck up. I escaped all
yeah,
that shit. So I swore to myself to never ever tell anyone telling me to shh, you know?
yeah,
And when that started happening, I became really unhappy. And I was like,
yeah,
why am I sacrificing my happiness, my well-being for making someone else feel better
yeah,
or make them feel right when that's not my problem. It's not my
yeah,
problem that you're so hurt over something that you have zero control over, that you don't even know what's true at the end of the day, right? Like, we don't really know what is truth,
yeah.
what's not truth. But again, like, when you have common sense and you question things, then it's like, okay, something ain't right here. I don't know exactly what it is, but it ain't right.
Early on, a friend messaged me and he's like, well, "What are you going to do to win them back?" And I was like, "Fuck! Why should I win them back? Like, who made them my masters? Like, why do I have to appeal to these people?" And like, before I had my friend Jess on Moxie Dane, people were sending me messages like, because I used to do the show live, and which I don't do anymore because the chat room became like open hate forum.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
people like messaging me like, "Don't do this, Brian. You'll ruin your life." And I'm like, don't fucking tell me what to do. Now I'm definitely gonna do it because I've always kind of been an asshole like that. But don't tell me who I can talk to on the internet. And yeah, people have been saying like maybe I could take legal action, but like the legally the internet as a dominion or a domain is really tough.
Yeah.
This is what a
And it's so
lawyer
much,
told me.
it's just so much energy would spend on that.
Yeah, like what do I win? Like,
Yeah.
yay!
Yeah.
Like in best case scenario, I can play like now, uh, like I said, like a sports bar in Allentown, Pennsylvania, maybe for people that remember me from 20 years ago. But
That is so
we'll see.
crazy.
But on the happy end, this Guts Against Cancel Culture group plug. Not only do we have a compilation coming out very soon, because a lot of bands have been canceled. There's an actual problematic list on Reddit,
All
fucking
right.
Reddit.
I want to see
Um,
it.
yeah,
I want to see
yeah.
the list there.
It's
That's cool.
it'll make your head spin because it's like bands like the Gothicals and Brian and like Hate Department and then like David Bowie. Like so, it's like
David Bowie.
yeah, that hate monger, David Bowie. Um, so on one hand, I'm on a list with David Bowie, so like fucking cool. But a lot of those bands have the reason I'm bringing that up. Well, A, because it's hilarious, and B, we've got a compilation
Yes, please tell
coming
me
out
about
real
that. Yes.
soon. Um, Deadline is probably passed by the time you see this at home, but we might do a volume 2. So let us know at Goth Against Cancel Culture that is coming out against the media wing called Problematic with a K, which is all um, sort of phase 1, and then phase 2 of our MCU universe. We've got a venue is for the festival, so we're doing like
Oh,
a live festival
fuck
of
yes.
canceled bands, and it's gonna be really cool. Ligerhawk Records is the label that I started afterwards, which that's another thing. After the first label went crashed and burned. I accidentally started another record label, and like one band joined and another band joined, and now we're kicking ass. Yes, there will be a problematic slash GACC, Goths Against Cancel Culture Festival. Realistically, maybe Q3, Q4 of this year, if not 2027. The um, the compilation is definitely happening because I'm sort of handling that one, so I can speak to that one a little bit
Yeah.
more. But we've got the full track list now. It's awesome. It's like legit, really good. Like
Oh, I
I
love
get to
it.
listen to it. So like from as the extremely biased, albeit audience, I get to hear it now. So it sounds even good, even in the unmastered phase.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
and one of the big stars of industrial music is mastering. I don't know if I can say his name yet, but the more people that like don't unfriend me on Facebook, I've noticed I sort of like bring down. Like like I kind of ruined Hate Department, like not like ruining some other people's bands. So um not ruining, but just like you know what I'm saying. Like they're associated with me, so it's like
I
then
just
you hear about them, and you're like,
yeah. I just heard it and I was like, What? Why? I mean,
yeah,
why can't we just leave politics out of this?
uh,
It's just like it's music, and can we just get back to the music and let people do what they want to do with their views? Um,
like one of
again,
the people that trashed me on that Dark Force Fest thing was like the lighting guy, and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna play a festival where like the lighting guy wants to fucking kill me.
my God, I do
It's so
like,
funny you brought that up. Yeah,
yeah, and I didn't even know it was you. Like now
yeah,
it all makes sense. But and it's funny because I was thinking like, you guys doing that, I think first of all, like how it always backfires, right? Because when somebody actually
it
speaks
always
out,
backfires.
and then suddenly you just now you're winning because you again giving other people the
Hmm.
permission to also speak up and say, you know what, enough is enough.
Yeah,
This has just become so ridiculous because we all, right, I've always considered myself like a glam goth, whatever. Like,
hmm,
I can be super gothy and I can be just
hmm.
like super, just like fucking the girl next door. Because I don't think that, goth doesn't mean you have to like wake up in a coffin. You know what I mean? Like, and, you know what I mean? And go to sleep in a coffin and drink red wine and smoke clove
You
cigarettes,
mean you
whatever.
don't? Out of the club.
Oh shit. But so I think that the whole culture was so beautiful because I used to go to the Limelight at they had goth night,
Yeah, hell
and
yeah.
that's, remember those days. And it
Oh
was like,
yeah.
oh, I love that. I was like, I love that everybody was just so. Oh, Mother, did you was that your time too when Mother was the club Mother in New York City? We played there, Father Sebastian.
No, I
Oh, it was so nice, and I
I'm
love that.
45. I think I just missed it.
Oh yeah, maybe,
Yeah.
that I don't even know. We moved away from New York City in
Uh,
2003.
okay.
So I think they closed down in 2001 or I don't know. We played there like
Yeah.
for, it was really, they had a dress code, which I love. Not, I guess it would be canceled now too, right? Because they had a dress code. You couldn't get in if you weren't goth. And I love that because I was like, yes, this is like true people, you dress up as
Yeah.
a dress code. What's wrong with a dress code? I think everybody should have a dress. Like, I think the whole world, America especially, we need a dress code. Like, people go in their fucking sleeping pants to fucking Walmart and shit like that. It's like,
Well, at
God,
least on planes, I don't want to see your
and on
bare feet.
planes, yeah, I know. I'm like, well, yeah, when you sleep maybe, but yeah, it's like, just like present yourself a little bit more. Like nobody gives. I really feel after COVID, there was such a big shift with people just not giving a shit anymore. Like you go to stores and people just they see you walking in and they walk in the back and then they don't come back for 5 minutes. Just like nobody
Yeah.
care. And like there's a certain aesthetic or like their values. I don't know. And Tony Robbins talked about that how people have that they lost their energy. And that was also part of
Mm,
the plan, right? For people to just like, everybody got used to just sitting at home, being on a Zoom and just getting money from the government and like being, oh,
right.
you know what the fuck? Like, why am I working so hard? Like, I could just like
Yeah.
order DoorDash, stay home, watch
Just
TV,
get high.
get
Yeah.
high all day long and just like, on whatever, on TV, on drugs, on alcohol,
Mm,
whatever, and it just becomes such a weird, even for me, I felt like so lost. Like I'm like when I left
mm.
LA, I'm like, well, I used to be a vocal coach. I really loved it. I couldn't
Oh,
teach at the
nice.
time. And I'm like, what am I doing now? Like, I don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
Everything kind of, I admit that I felt just like this whole, I don't have sense of time anymore, like in a way, which is also an illusion, really. But um, I don't know, something shifted. And I think we're slowly getting back to, again, coming back to this coming out of the darkness into the light where people realize, oh, I have power. I can think for myself. I can grow my own food.
Right.
I can cook my own food. I don't have to buy, out of convenience stuff at McDonald's and get just fake meat and whatever the fuck is in there. And now they actually have to also like disclose more of what's in our foods or
Mm-hmm.
say, I think, did you hear that there's a new label that they have to put on the food, not for human consumption?
Yeah.
That shit is just fucking crazy.
It's just the wildest thing.
It's crazy. And I really hope that all this will wake people up to the fact that, again, it's not about left and right. This is so much bigger than everything, that it's about just dividing us, finding
I
ways to
hope
divide us.
so.
I think so. Where
Well,
people
like
can sit
when
down.
we say like maybe uh the Trump administration says like, look, maybe taking a bunch of Tylenol when you're pregnant isn't the best thing, and then morons on TikTok like take a bunch of Tylenol to like fuck Trump and then die. Uh, you go like, oh shit, maybe we are kind of fucked as a species. So I don't know.
At this point, it just does such a Trump, what's it, derangement syndrome,
Derangement syndrome.
that they just like they're so, the minute they hear it they get PTSD. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, it's true.
it just like they just hear the word. Like I remember when he got in office in 2016, and some of my friends, they were crying. I'm like,
Oh
why are
yeah.
you crying? I'm like, it's not that you survived all these other presidents. They were not all nice either. So this is not really affecting your personal life that much.
uh,
It never has. Look at history and all the shit I mean, we survived COVID. Like, like
yeah.
we're fucking like, we survived 9/11. So it's just, it's, I think people are waking up, but I think that it's so great that you totally, I go back and forth too. Like, I'm over here and I'm in Russia now,
Mhm.
and I'm in Poland. But I think that it's so great that someone started, who started the cancel culture, Goth.
My friend Danielle, she does an amazing band called Crucifera, who
Oh,
one of those people that just like started music relatively quickly and is now like amazing. Like, wow, you had this in you the whole time. But
oh, wow.
yeah.
But I love this movement because I think that it's time to speak your truth.
Hmm.
And if you want to be all the way on the left, then yeah, speak your fucking truth, but without the hate. And I
Hmm.
think that it's not fair or right, because that is what I escaped. And people glamorize socialism, communism. I
Hmm.
grew up in that, and I'm like, and people want to still argue with me. I'm like, you should listen to people like me who grew up in it, because I know. I actually do know. I lived it. I didn't read a book about it. So
Yeah.
it's so important that you are not being suppressed and that you are speaking out for yourself and standing up for yourself. And I think that obviously 10,000 people now, you created a movement, and it's important because people should not feel like, oh, if I say something, then I cannot
Hmm.
live my life anymore. Um, because I would love to play shows, but I can't because
Yeah.
nobody wants to
It'd
hire
be
like you,
nice.
right?
It'd be
It's just
nice.
like, what the fuck is up with that? And I think that more club owners should just say, you know what? We don't care about this. We just care about the
Hmm.
music. Because
Hmm.
since when do they care about politics? All they care about is how many people you can bring and how many tickets they can sell, how much
Yeah.
alcohol they sell. Isn't that what they
Hmm.
really care about? They don't even give a fuck about you, really. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And
But
so it's like, why
these
is this suddenly a
people,
thing?
well, in my case, the when a club owner still talks to me, it's that they tell me that the people that whoever talked to him said that I wasn't safe and I was making the trans community feel unsafe because in between sets I like to go out and commit a few homicides and then run right back to the venue in time. Like what? But so hopefully it'll come around. You were talking about backfiring before, and that has happened in a good way for me. Like people are
Exactly.
like, "That's bullshit,"
Yeah.
and so now I've got some gigs coming up actually, which is awesome. We have to call them private parties, but like the interest is there. Like I'll take it, and this
And
festival
good.
coming up. Yeah, thank
I
you,
love it.
and
And you know what? Fuck the clubs. Create your
yeah,
own. Back in the days
hell yes,
when they did warehouse parties, let's bring
yeah.
that shit back.
Let's bring that shit back. Well, I will be doing that effectively. I'm just going to be doing some online shows for gasoline coming up. But yeah, I would love to do a basement show or whatever. Like that'd be great.
It takes a village, and once people come together, it can be done, and nothing can stop you. And I love that for you. And I really I think that you're just a brave fucking guy who just like speaks your
Oh,
truth and stands your ground and not let people just bully you, because that's what it really is. Bullying someone for their beliefs
this it was
and not
complete
willing to
bullying.
listen. They're not willing to listen
Yeah.
to what you, because if I was disagreeing with you, the common sense would be, and the kind thing to do would be, okay, I totally disagree with you, but I want to know why.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that way? What is the core belief under
Mm-hmm.
your statement, right? And then if you go there, then people could understand it better, and they could still disagree but understand it more.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I think, what we've lost our ability to
That's
even
out the
listen.
window. Yeah.
We don't listen anymore. It's just like
No.
from the get-go, like I said, that PTSD thing is like, oh, you said the word, oh god, again, I encourage everyone, do some fucking yoga, some breath work, regulate your nervous system, and try to control the things that you can control, which is really just ourselves. I can't
Yeah.
control anyone. I can't even control my mother. Okay. She loves her wine, and she loves to just be crazy. And I'm like, there's nothing I can do. I'm like, I love you and I accept you for who you are. I don't agree with everything you do, but or running to the doctor, high blood pressure, medication, all kind of shit. I'm like, it's not, you are your own person, and obviously you've done something right because you're still alive. So
Yeah.
who am I to tell you how to live your life? So we all should stop doing that.
Maybe one more little anecdote because it
Yeah.
ends on a good
Yes.
note. I did my cancel thing got like real fucked up to the point that like I didn't talk to my family for a while. Like it got like that into it. Like it really wrecked up my family relationship.
Wow.
And so recently, actually, on the day that I recorded with Tim Pool, they were nice enough to fly me right back because my parents we came down to my mom and dad flew down to Knoxville here, and we reconciled, and we had a great time.
Oh,
My mom let it slip that she went to a No Kings rally, and I was like, nope, we're just gonna put that over here and talk
yeah.
about the family dog or whatever. So yeah, there is some light at the end of the title. Oh, the darkness, if you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah. I love it. Tell us where people can find you, connect with you, collaborate with you.
Awesome. Part of doing a whole bunch of things is that you have a lot of URLs. And
I
I
saw
had
that. I was like,
they laughed at me on Tim Pool because it's like Jake Monroe just says jakemonroe.com, and I went blah, 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 blah. So
give us your main
guess
one, the main one first, and then the other ones.
probably I'm probably most active on X on gasoline NVTRBR8 because there's a character limit. So that's gasoline invertebrate. But that's a weird band name, as is the Gothsicles. So if you put that into your favorite search engine, you'll find all my shit. Space Couch, excuse me, youtube.com/Space Couch Show, soon to be featuring the
Yes.
amazing Jacqueline von Bierk. We're going to get into it. Have had some great guests thus far. We run that Sundays at 3 p.m. As we're recording, tomorrow's episode features the American guy, but he's the vocalist for Germany's own Vintage. So that'll be cool. No gasoline shows coming up. Well, there are, but I can't talk about them yet. At least because they're not public. I'm going to be doing something publicly. The Gothsicles Serpaduce is this new project, Space Couch Show, Ligerhawk Records, and Gasoline Invertebrate. Those 5 things are what you need to commit to memory. New album is like You know what? You know when the album's like done, but it's not like done done.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like it's a done part, and then so like we're gonna be doing that versus probably kickstart that like because one more thing, like when I was like really down in like the just super like nobody loves me anymore depths, I did a Kickstarter and it closed at 200%. So like there's still like some people out there, so like that was cool.
That's
uh
awesome. How much did you ask for?
I asked for 500 and got it out at 1,000 for
Okay.
gasoline and vertebrate, which like the Gothsicles is the much more popular project. And people ask me why I'm not doing that one anymore. Like it goes back to what you were saying about singing your truth. Like I'll still do that maybe every now and then, but like for as much as I love, stag beetles or goats, like it's not like I'm so like angry now that like I'm just doing the anger shit. But that new album's coming out soon, produced like by a guy, my friend in the Ukraine, which is like crazy. So that's coming out, and lots of stuff coming out on Legerhawk Records, and that festival coming up. Goths Against Cancel Culture, wherever you go for that, is mostly on Facebook these days, and that should cover most of it. I'm sorry that should have been a one word answer, but it was a lot of URLs. So
You
thank
need a
you for
link tree.
indulging me.
We need a link tree
I
for you.
do. I do. I had a link tree, but like I had all my other projects on there, but like half those dudes hate me now, so it's like I got to go through an update.
It's funny because I feel the same way. I have so many names. I'm like Jacqueline Babir. I'm Pinkster. I'm Otto's daughter.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? Like, who am I? Like, I'm Gypsy Rebel. But,
Yeah.
I think that's part of being creative. Like, we just like, have a lot of shit always like downloads and somehow we got
Yeah.
to put it out there. But what a great experience to talk to you. And I'm so glad we linked up and we met up. And I just love, again, I love that you speak the truth. And I hope that
Oh.
our listeners will give it some thought to really step back and see people for who they really are, not who they voted for, what their beliefs are, and have more
Yeah.
communication
Look
and
past my white hood is what I'm saying. I'm kidding. But
we're all just flesh, blood, and bones at the end of the day. We
right.
all want the same thing. What do you really want? What is something you really want in your life?
Right now, well, maybe just because I said it, but having an album like on the cusp of done is like just go out the door, please. Oh my God, go out the door.
But I'm talking
Um,
deeper, like even deeper, like
oh, deeper. Well,
life, the whole point of of you being here. What do you feel is like, you came here to, what do you really want? When past all the material, of course we are
uh,
creatives, but
well, I could use the Tinder match because that's deader than a doornail right now for me. Um, but like to actually answer your question, I went out on this sort of musical journey of doing sort of right coded based whatever industrial music, which is really, really by its nature sort of left, because I knew I was not the only one. I didn't know it um, quantitatively, but just sort of like in my heart, like just mathematically, if you will, just statistically, there's got to be more out there. And even if I can't find somebody of my bent, like at least I'm not hiding behind this mask. And I would like for it to be okay to do that for other people to to have that permission structure to just sort of be like, I don't have to worry if I'm gonna get an angry phone call because I made this poem or made this painting or wrote this poem or was on this podcast. Like
Mhm.
I think taking the team, well, I don't want to take the team sports out of politics because I step into that strike a lot. Like I consider myself like I said, a conservative, but being able to not make that your entire thing, I think is powerful. And I would like it to be okay to think. How's that?
Yeah, yeah. Because, I think that, we all came here to experience the best life ever.
Hmm.
Yeah. We didn't come here to fucking struggle, to fight, to go to war
No.
for something that's, you know, it's just not even for the human betterment. It's just for profit. It's just for greed
Right.
and power. So, that
Virtue
alone.
points.
Exactly. So I love that, just expressing ourselves and
Hmm.
be who we came here to be. We
Don't
all.
live for clicks.
Oh God, yes. Honestly, I have to remind myself of that too, because I sometimes I'm like, my mom used to say it all the time. She's like, God, can you just not film everything you do?
Yeah,
And I'm like, you're
no,
right.
I fall into it. I'm glad you said it because like,
Yeah, we all do it. I mean, it's just
no.
because you're like, oh, I want to share more of me, and I'm like,
Mm.
who fucking cares? No, nobody
Right, but I
cares.
mean, there's a difference between like, here's something funny my mom said, and here's a statement that I heard on a podcast that I'm
Yes, yeah,
rephrasing a little bit differently, so it sounds like I thought of it, and I'm only posting it because I know everybody else is gonna like it. Like, I
yes,
think there's a distinction to be made.
exactly. At least say, hey, I heard something today that really
Yeah,
resonated with me.
right,
Versus like, preaching something. It's just like nobody
right.
wants to hear that, and we all do it at some points. I used to definitely be guilty of that, like trying to just like
I'm prime
my
offender.
opinion,
Right.
my opinion. You have to think like me, or you have to, I'm right, and it's like I don't give a fuck anymore. Like
I actually am right though, so I get a pass.
You know what? In your own reality, you are, and my own reality, I'm right too, because that's why I live the life I will live, and not everybody. I've heard people tell me that living the RV life is like, you know, ghetto or whatever. Like, I'm like, do you know how much it costs to fucking be at an RV campground? It's like cost as much as paying rent somewhere in an apartment. So
Hmm.
it's just a different lifestyle. And it's not for everyone, and that's totally fine. But we all should be able to live the life we want to live, and not the life we being told to live. Fuck that.
There it is.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you go because I know it's been way too long. I was like, oh, an hour. I can never do a podcast just an hour. Like, I always try, and then we just get into it. I'm like, oh, fuck. All
Oh
right.
yeah, well, I love the sound of my own voice a little bit too much. So thank you for indulging me, and I look forward to seeing you on Space Couch.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time and for being here. Much love and much success to you. Take
Thank you.
care.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. And I hope you found value in this, and maybe it opened your mind to really realizing that this environment we are in and what happened to Brian should not happen to anyone ever. Everyone should have the right to speak their mind and have their own opinion. So if that resonated with you, share it with a friend, and also leave a comment, subscribe to the podcast, and also give us a rating on Apple Podcasts. Highly appreciated. And or I don't know if you even can do that on Spotify, but if you can, please do so. If you would like to reach out to Brian, all his information is in the show notes below, as well as my information. If you would like to work with me, take the declutter course. It's spring coming up. Make sure that you do the declutter course. It's so good to just make space and room for what really matters in your life, to always speak and live your truth. If you would like to take a voice lesson with me, pinkstarmusic.com. All the information is right there. Have an amazing rest of your day. As always, make every day a great day, and always, always follow your bliss. Much love.
What's on your mind, my child? What's with the sad brown eyes? We've got to keep it quiet. We've got to keep it quiet. Surround me, closing